Hey guys, we're here with film director, producer, actor, comedian, the list goes on and on and on. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. I have here with me at the Let's Talk with Lakshmee studios none other than Mahadeo Shivraj. Shiv, welcome back to Let's Talk with Lakshmee. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And thanks for having me here once again. It's always a pleasure to hear your voice requesting me to come on your show. I can't thank you enough for doing that.
Oh my God, Shiv, I can't thank you enough. I mean, I recently saw the trailer to your newest movie. I mean, what is this, like your sixth movie by now?
My sixth, yeah.
Okay, so I just saw the trailer for your newest movie, Protection Game.
Yeah.
And I got so excited. I was like, oh my God, is Shivraj actually in New York City? Because I know you're doing so much traveling with the film business, with, you know, everything that you're doing. And I just have to thank you so much for all that you're doing for our Indo-Caribbean community.
That's all right, thank you.
So, Protection Game, Shiv, you know, tell us a little bit about this movie. What is it about?
It's a murder mystery. It's a story about how far will a father go to protect his son. The person who plays my son, he's charged for murder, and the father, played by myself, is on the lookout to see how he can get his son released, whether it's through the court system or otherwise. So the whole the mystery about everything is, what will this father do to get his son out of the clutches of prison? Or if he does go to prison, how will he get him off before he serves the full time? So it's very intriguing, very intriguing movie, and it's the first movie that has ever been filmed in the High Court in Guyana, the Supreme Court.
My goodness, how were you able to do that?
Oh, I had a real rough time getting the place to use, because I had to write to the Chancellor of the Judiciary, and then first I wrote to the Chief Justice, then I was told that I have to write the Chancellor, and then the Chancellor said, no, it's the Chief Justice, and I was back and forth like that. Eventually, I had a conversation on the phone with the Chancellor, and then he realized who I was, and he said, you know what, you're doing a great job, and we need to get this thing organized. So he spoke to the Chief Justice himself, and then I got a letter saying that it would be approved. It so happened I went to Guyana prior to this shooting of the film, and I went to the court one and I saw the Chief Justice, and I went up to him and I said, you know what, I've been trying to get the court to use for this film. And he said, oh yeah, I saw some letters and stuff like that. And then he asked me about the movie, and then he said, oh, all right, I'll give you my court to use. So I had the actual Chief Justice court to use. So it ended up working out better than I anticipated, because I thought they probably would give me a small court. I had a biggest court, you know.
Okay. So tell us about some of the landmarks that we would see, or some famous spots that we would see in Guyana with this movie.
Well, this one was filmed mostly in Georgetown, but I did film a few scenes out of Georgetown. So basically you'll find most of Georgetown in it, but I did go up East Bank and a couple of places on the East Coast and stuff like that by the seawall. But the majority of it is in Georgetown, different places in Georgetown.
Okay. And what was the inspiration behind this particular story?
Well, you know, my friend Somnath, who has written Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me and Forgotten Promise, which are two of my previous films, he just came up with this idea, just like how we came up with the other two. And when he gets an idea, he would call me and we'll talk about it, and then we'll talk about it for months. And as he's fleshing it out, and then when he starts writing, he would send it for me to read and stuff like that. I fell in love with it immediately, because my favorite genre is suspense. I love suspense. Even if I'm doing a drama, you'll find suspense. If I'm doing comedy, you'll find suspense. It's what I love. So I fell in love with it right away, and then I was planning to do it for the 50th anniversary celebrations. I actually met with the Minister of Tourism, Minister of Education, but I was very disappointed, because they had promised to make it a part of the celebrations, and after sending about 100 emails and getting no response, I even had my friend print the email and take it to them, and they still did not respond, even though they had given the award. And it kind of turned me off from Guyana. Well, not Guyana, the country, but to deal with these individuals. You know, I think when you give your word, it's very important, and especially when I think I was the first person who came up with the idea of doing something for the celebrations. There was no committee formed yet or anything, you know, and to not make it happen. And if you see my trailer, you'll see it's dedicated to Guyanese all over the world, right? On this occasion, but you know, it's all part of the drama, I think, and karma will deal will deal with that. I'm not going to even worry about it anymore. But I was very, very disappointed, you know. But the disappointments, when they come, give me more strength.
Right.
Yeah. So if I can mention now, Somnath and I decided, and this is because he was telling me and some other friends long now that I should change my focus from Guyana to mainstream America, you know. And I was thinking that we could create something in Guyana. We could create this film industry in Guyana. But after this experience, I think this was meant for me to change my focus. So right now we work, I'm in pre-production. I'm actually going through the Screen Actors Guild and all of that to do this movie called Tangled Dreams, which I'm hoping to send to the Tribeca, Sundance, Cannes Festival.
Great.
Yeah. It's going to be very, very different to everything I've done, you know. And that's why I was mentioning to you about that song and dance, because I want to showcase our culture at the same time, you know, in some subtle way, not like an ad, you know.
Well, Shiv, I know you've been doing a lot for the community. You've been giving back to the community for years through your acting, through your movies. I mean, my first major role, a play, was with you on stage with the Rajkumari Cultural Center.
Right.
And that was my first acting, like major acting experience. And it was a great experience. And I mean, I've seen from it was about 20 years ago to now, how we've all grown as actors and artists. And we all have so much love and compassion for our Indo-Caribbean culture, which is why I know you've been doing this. And, you know, I apologize, and I'm so sorry that, you know, you reached some disappointments with this most recent movie with the government or whomever promised you that. But it's like what you said, sometimes things that disappoint you will just only make you thrive to do better. And I mean, you're talking about mainstream, Shiv. I know that you have done some mainstream work as well, which we're going to touch upon in a moment. But, you know, let's talk a little bit more about the movie. Tell our viewers a little bit about some of the actors that are in the movie.
Well, this time, the casting I did here, some people think it's the best casting I've done, because it's a multi-ethnic cast. It's made up of Indo-Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese, Amerindians, and Portuguese mainly. We have 6 races, but 4 mainly in this production here. And they all the roles are very tangible roles. There's no really small role. And there's a saying, there are no small roles, only small actors.
Right.
So basically, everyone has some amount of good work to do in the film, you know. I think everybody did a fantastic job, even though I get some trials with the actors in Guyana, in the sense that they're all stage actors, and acting for film is a totally different genre. You don't have to reach somebody at the back of the audience there, you know, making things big. It has to be more subtle. You have to be in the moment. I mean, you have to be in the moment on stage, but on film is more. It's a bigger task. Like, there is one old actor, he had said that when you're acting for stage, you have to give the audience an experience. But when you're acting for film, you better be having an experience.
Right.
Because when you feel it, the audience will feel it. Because the camera can even pick up your thoughts, you know? With the challenges that I have with the actors, moving from the stage genre to the film, aside from that, you know, it takes a little more time to get what you want out of them, but ultimately I do get what I want, because I know what I want. And I think the movie is good, you know. I think it's good, and 1/3 of the film is in the High Court, so it's a fantastic court story that keeps going, you know, has you always wondering what's going to happen next.
Okay. So I know one of the actors that you have in the film is Mr. Roshan Khan. What role is he going to be playing?
He's playing the judge in the High Court, the High Court
he
judge.
He looked like he could be a judge.
Oh, yeah,
Very
yeah.
serious.
Yeah, you would say I typecasted him because he has that aura about him, you know, like he could be a judge, you know, someone in position.
So who else can we look at?
We have Ron Robinson, who's been in theater for 30 or 40 years. We have Margaret Lawrence, who has been in another 30 or 40 years. She plays a magistrate because part of the scene takes place in a magistrate court as well. There's another place I had to get permission for. And then there's Godfrey Norton, who's also been in the theater for over 40 years. So these are the more experienced guys. And then for the younger ones, we have Michael Ignatius, Abigail Brower, Nirmala Narain, Randolph Critchlow, and many. This is my biggest cast too. It's about 30-something people. And I actually took people off the street, so to speak, people who ask me, give me an opportunity, and I give them without them ever having any experience. One guy that really did a fantastic job and is Akash Prasad. He works at Chronicle. For a newcomer, I mean, he had a little piece in Brown Sugar, but he plays a major role in the movie, and he was very, very dedicated and, you know, learned his lines, studied the character. Very impressed with stuff like that when the actors take it upon themselves to do their homework, because that is what is necessary, you know.
Oh, I remember you and homework.
Yeah,
and, you know, you'd come in for rehearsal and you'd be like, I know who didn't memorize his lines. I know who wasn't studying their lines.
You can know, you know. You're supposed to improve from day to day, because when you go home, you should learn some lines. You should see some characterization, improvement, you know.
Mr. Ravi Bihari, you are hereby charged with second-degree murder.
Why didn't you ask for bail?
Where is the gun?
I know I had the gun in my hand, but I can't remember what happened to it.
I can smell the Chinese food all over the station.
You know what are the only two things in this world that belongs to the poor? The sea and the sky.
This is the expensive cologne. I want you to smell like that on the job.
Miss Mahadeo, did Mr. Yasin always keep his gun in his pants?
Your Honor, I really must object to this.
Objection overruled.
If the victim is facing the left-handed shooter head-on, the bullet would have hit frontally.
A 19mm bullet would be too big to be accommodated in the chamber of a .22 Ruger revolver, sir.
What did you observe when you entered the bedroom, detective?
I saw Mr. Farouk lying face up with blood pooling over the left side of his head and his face.
My son is renting space in the police station right now.
What is the matter? Was he involved in a road accident?
You're playing with a mistrial, Counselor.
Prison is a different kind of jungle, Mr. Bihari. The prisoners make the rules and run the prison.
If this case goes to the jury, your client may end up with 10 years. If you accept my deal, you can walk within 2 years. What you say, Mrs. Santos? Shall we shake on it?
See you in court, Mr. Mahadeo.
You're going too fast, Chief. I don't want you to take my life in a car crash.
Shut your ass, man.
Drop to the floor or I'll send you to your certain death.
That's why you want to go. You walk out with me?
how would you say that your movies have like evolved from like, you know, this is your 6th movie. So like from your first movie to your 6th movie, would you say you've learned something?
Yeah.
Has it gotten better?
I'll say that before I answer that question, I want to say one thing, you know, if I didn't love what I do, I would have given up a long time.
Of course.
Because this is going to be my 6th experience, but from the 5 films I've done, I've never recuperated the cost of any of my films up to now. Because if the cinemas were still in existence in Guyana, I would have been self-sufficient. Probably would have been a rich person financially. However, when you love something, it's not the financial rewards that motivates you. It's seeing your work out there. It's getting the appreciation from the audience, the few people who would see it and stuff like that. But after having said that, how it has evolved is that when I started off, it was in a very small way with some very, very basic equipment. We still have very basic equipment, but you can't stay stagnant. You have to learn, you know, and every day, a day doesn't pass without me trying to learn something more. I'm always reading, finding out more about filming and filmmaking and producing and directing, and you know, I'm learning every day. I have to, even if it's looking at a tutorial on YouTube just to find out something more about cinematography or whatever. I'm always learning. So whatever I learn, I keep trying to put into my movies as I'm doing them. And as an actor too, I try to do more and more, try to do better every time, you know. And with the experience I've had working outside of our community and in the mainstream has brought more too, you know. And I think I personally have become a better actor, you know, especially on screen now, because it's something that you learn after being on stage for a long time. To transition to screen is not an easy thing, and it takes a while before you can actually fit right into the screen acting mode, so to speak. So aside from that, the actual filmmaking, the process of filmmaking, and I think I've improved in every aspect. I think there has been improvement. Each film seems to be better than the one before. Okay. I think, and people are telling me that, which means it is working. Something is working.
So, Shiv, what would you say is your favorite role thus far?
I think I love all the roles I've played, but I think the one that challenges you the more is the one I would give preference to if I had to make a choice. And I've had a couple. There are 2 particular plays that I remember that really, really challenged me. One, I had to play a man and a woman together in the same play.
What play was that, Shiv?
It's a play called The Big Masquerade. It was done at the Metropolitan Playhouse in Manhattan. Okay. And to play a man and a woman convincingly, you can't come over as drag, convincingly. And I remember when I came out, and the last scene is when I will take off this wig, and then people realize that it's same person. I remember when I came out, they had a whole bunch of people, white people, used to be waiting outside to meet me just to congratulate, because they couldn't believe it was a man playing this woman role. They thought it was 2 totally different persons. And then there was another play that I did at the Producers Club Theater off-Broadway, Equity Showcase, where it was a 2-character play, and I had to learn a South African accent. I had to be nude in one scene, which was, I enjoyed. Completely nude, and I enjoyed that tremendously. I actually look forward to that because it was something new, something different. I never did that before. And to actually do this in front of people, it was satisfying for me, right? It might sound weird and lewd, but it wasn't. It was an experience that I never had before, and I had really looked forward to it. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed the moment, and in that play also, as a prisoner, it took place in a prison, in a cell actually. these two actors, these two people who were in the cell, they had to do a play within the play. And that too called for other aspects to the character. And so those two were two of the main ones that, main challenges I had, that I think I would say I really, really enjoyed, because I had to work so hard for them, you know.
So Shiv, I know for the past few years you've been mostly focusing on movies and making movies, but a lot of our audiences know you for your theatrical work.
Right.
Will we see you back on the stage as far as skits and plays?
Well, I actually did, you know. I actually won Best Actor 2 years in a row in Guyana. I went back and did one play each year. This was 2013 and 2014, I think, for 83 million G's the first year, and for Watch the Right Justice the second time. And then I call it quits for a while, because I've done close to 100 plays now, and I gotta get something that will challenge me, you know. I never thought about going on stage, but now that I've gone on stage, I love it so much. But my dream was film. So now that I've gone into that, stage has taken the back. But I'll probably do, you know how many people keep asking me to do Laugh Till the Belly Bust? I have enough material to do about 3 Laugh Till the Belly Bust, because that's another thing I do. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and something comes to my mind and I write a skit and I just put it aside.
Right.
But it's just that I never got down to doing another show, you know, another stage show. I don't know when, but I'll probably still do sometime, you know. It's in me. I have to do it, because you want that one-on-one
and
experience.
we miss it. The community misses it.
Yeah.
So Shiv, let's talk about a little bit about your mainstream performances. I mean, we are so proud of you as an Indo-Caribbean community.
Thank you.
Anytime we hear that, you know, I mean, anytime we hear anything about you, but mostly, especially when we're hearing that you're on Channel 7 or you're on, you know, on a mainstream channel. So let's talk about a couple of the things that you've done.
Well, you know about the Americans. Tour de Rock was a little while ago. I did one called Broad City the other day, comedy on Comedy Central. Unfortunately, my scene was cut from the, and that's the reality of this business, you know. I remember putting on Facebook that I should be on I think it was April 30th or March 30th or something like that, if I'm not cut out. And it so happened they cut that entire scene, and it was such a big scene. It took place in Manhattan on the sidewalk with so many actors. They even had stunt people in this scene, and they cut the whole scene out. So, but I wasn't disappointed, because I know that's how it is, you know. I remember seen an interview with Sharon Stone, and her first movie never even showed to nobody ever saw it. So, you know, and that's only one story. There are many like that. But I recently did a part with in a movie with this guy, Robert Pattinson, you know, the guy from Twilight. All the young girls are running crazy. Yeah. So actually, him and we spent about 5 or 6 hours together. But it's a nice part, not a big role, but at least I had, it was with him. And when you're acting with the lead actor, you know, you're going to be seen once they don't edit you out or whatever. And it's very interesting. I'm not supposed to give out any information about it, because I had to sign a document. So I cannot release any information about it. Hopefully when it comes out, I'll be seen and people will recognize me because I'm with Robert Pattinson. I don't even think they want a name to be out there of the film. So, but hopefully it will be out sometime before the year is out, unless they're going to the festivals and stuff, maybe.
2 months ago, after my mother's hospitalization, the doctors wanted to put her on hospice. And I'm like, you know, they deemed her terminal. And I saw Mr. Thakur, I think the founder, on TV, and he was advertising this Indian community in Kings Harbor. It's a great Indian community where My mother feels at home and she expresses her happiness to me whenever I come.
I know when I come, I feel happy. I stay a couple days and I see everybody, and I'm so happy.
I brought my mother here like a month and a half ago, and I haven't regretted my decision. It's one of the best decisions I've made for my mother. It's a home away from home.
Elegant Floral Design. We can help you beautify your event. No occasion is too big or too small. We specialize in floral decor and party planning for every event. Please call 718-322-9786. Please use promo code Lakshmee for a discount. Welcome to Platinum Celebrations Incorporation, event planner and on-day coordinators. Formal or casual, large or intimate, held at a private residence, dazzling venue, or the beach. Platinum Celebrations' unparalleled service and attention to details will take your special occasion from the ordinary to the extraordinary. As a full-service event planning company, our service goes beyond design and decor to encompass entertainment, linen and table settings, flower arrangements, party favors, invitations, photography, and so much more. From selecting the perfect site to achieving the perfect mood. We promise to guide you through the planning process from beginning to end, and we are on site throughout the entire event to ensure all of your time and money invested goes according to your liking. Contact Shivy at 347-432-8545 for a free consultation. Remember, Platinum Celebrations is here for your special day. So where are we going to see you in 5 years, Shiv?
In 5 years, I really hope that I could be recognized somewhere beyond Guyana and beyond our community where
at the Cannes Film
yeah,
Festival.
at the film festival. I hope my film, the next film I make, could be recognized at the festivals, and you know, somebody could say, if this guy could make this movie with $10,000, $20,000, why don't we give him $1 million, you know, and make something bigger and better? Because
now, if that was to happen, Shiv, would you film that movie in Guyana or would you film it elsewhere?
It depends on where the story is set. It depends on the script and, you know, where it's set, of course. So I wouldn't put no demarcation. I wouldn't say either there or here, or I wouldn't go there, you know. Anywhere would be fine. It would be right to film wherever is the best as per the script, you know. But like I said, the one I'm going to the festival with, it will be in New York. It's set in New York.
Okay.
And it's going to be, for the Indians, it will be me, somebody's going to be playing my son, somebody's playing my wife. There is one Trinidadian Indian in it, and then aside from that, is Black American, Hispanic, Filipino, and the majority of the actors will be Italians.
Oh,
there's one Irish as well.
Okay, that should be a very, very interesting film.
Yeah. It's a fantastic script, and there were two pieces I really wanted to change, and Somnath agreed with me, and he made the adjustment. The script is even better now.
Okay.
And with the inclusion of the song dance bit, I think it would lend something to the film for Americans or whichever nationality, whichever country it might reach to, or people from some country would see. They'll see something of our culture, you know?
Okay. So Shiv, I know that you're going to be showcasing two of your films coming up. So I know Jasmine for Gardner, there's been like a very popular demand.
Yeah.
People wanted to see it again.
It seems like if that's the best, some people feel that's the best one, you know.
Okay,
Everybody has their own taste.
Yeah, so when is that going to be showing?
Yeah, I think it's I hope I have the dates right. I think it's June 17th and 18th. But it's a Saturday, Sunday around then, right? In case I have it wrong. And the Saturdays at 5 and 8, Sundays at 2 and 5. And then the next weekend, I know that's 25th and 26th. It's the 5 and 8 and 2 and 5. First weekend at Jasmine for a Gardener. The second weekend, Protection Game, the new movie. And the usual place, PS 268 Auditorium, 175th Street in Jamaica Avenue.
Okay. Well, you know, I got to tell you, my favorite movie is Forgotten Promise because I was in that one. So,
no, well, actually,
I have to say that.
I was just telling Ralph too that people are going crazy for Brown Sugar Too Bitter for me because it's it just reaches home. And you know, let me just say, if I could say this one little thing. I always say that my movies are not only to entertain but to educate.
Right.
And when I went back this last time here, I met the young guy who topped the country at the University of Guyana. It's a cane cutter son.
Okay.
And you know, in Brown Sugar Too Bitter for me, I played a cane cutter and my son topped the country at the exam. So when I met the guy, you know what he told me? He said he sat down and watched this movie with his mother and father. And when the movie was finished, he told them that he'll make this movie into reality.
Wow.
And he did, top the country. So, which is a good thing. My Somnath and I feel very proud that, you know, it had such a tremendous effect on somebody's life. But I was telling Ralph that my favorite is Forgotten Promise. I think it's my best made movie for some reason.
Do you know which one of your movies had the most audience?
I think it's going to be between Jasmine and Brown Sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, tell our audiences why they should come out and see these movies.
Well, first of all, I think I can only plead with the audience to come out and support and not to buy the pirated copies of the DVD because it costs a lot to make the movies and we don't have the places to showcase the movie. So wherever it's being showcased, we're looking forward for that audience participation to come out and support, to help to recuperate the cost. Because when it goes to DVD, we're suffering on another level for a second time because then people are going to buy pirated copies. And it's happening all over. And you know, a friend of mine was in lives in Schenectady, and a guy was pirating the movie at a store. So he went in and he told the guy, hey man, why are you doing this? You know, this guy's making so much sacrifices to make this movie and then you're just pirating it. And the guy said, man, the man a $1 millionaire, man. You know, because they see you in film, they have this perception that, oh, this guy is rich. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that actors are a dime a dozen in this country, and there's a 95% unemployment rate, and 98% of the actors live below poverty level. They don't realize that. Yeah. I chose to live that way because it's something I love to do, and they're going away with the wrong impression that this guy is a millionaire, you know. Mm-hmm. I remember my wife resigned the other day to look after our grandkid. A girl who works with her said, oh, you don't need to work, man. You're Mahadeo Shivraj wife. You know? Mm-hmm. This time, my wife, we need more than anybody else. Yeah. But it comes down back to contentment. Right. You know, you could have the world and still not happy and still not contented. Yeah. So I have learned, because I wanna do this. I wanna be a filmmaker. I love making movies. I wanna be an actor. With all the negatives and all the challenges, I have chosen to live on a smaller level just to enjoy what I do. Because when all is said and done, if I could say, well, okay, I'm going to die tomorrow, today I could say, I really had a wonderful time because I did what I do. How many people do that? Right. You know?
Living to their fullest.
Yeah, they stick to a job and they're suffering and crying every day. You know, even though my own has so many obstacles and challenges, when my wife would tell me, Mahadeo, it hurts me to see what you're going through. And I said, I know it's rough and all of that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like work to me because
you love what
I
you
love
do.
it.
Yeah. They say when you love what you do, you never feel like you work a day of your life.
Exactly.
And you know, Shiv, it's unfortunate that, you know, a lot of our West Indian actors and, you know, pioneers in, you know, theater or acting or movies or singing or any of these artists, you know, currently there really isn't, you know, economic benefit for us. But I know you're one of the first people, Ramesh is one of the first people that have really truly put their heart and their soul, also of course the Rajkumar Cultural Center, have really put their heart and their soul. And you know, maybe today we're not seeing the benefits for it, but hopefully 5 years from now we will. I mean, you've created the stepping stones for our Indo-Caribbean, you know, actors and writers and directors that, you know, our kids today are going to film academies. I've seen many. They reach out to me and write to me. To like their page because they just had a role in this or a role in that, and it's good. I'm happy to hear that they're doing stuff like that. It's harder for me coming from a Guyanese background with this deep Guyanese accent and all of that, but the kids born here, and now Hollywood is opening up. They're accepting, you know. For me, my type, they will only see me as a deli clerk or a terrorist or a cab driver. Right. But for the younger folks who are growing up here, it's going to open up. They're going to be uneven, maybe not exactly even with the white majority, but they'll be up there. Yeah, I mean, definitely. In a few years from now, we will see a lot more Indo-Caribbean actors on mainstream television. I mean, if you look at TV today, every channel has an Indian person. Right. So 5 years from now, I'm looking forward to every channel having a West Indian person. Exactly. Because there definitely is a difference. So Shiv, you know, we're all going to come out. We're going to support your movies. You know, tell our viewers one more time the dates, the movies, and where it is. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm saying the right date, 17th and 18th, but it's that Saturday, Sunday, and it's 5 and 8 Saturday, 2 and 5 Sunday, Jasmine for a Gardener. And then on the next Saturday, Sunday, 25th, 26th, it's Protection Game at 5 and 8 on Saturday, 2 and 5 on Sunday at PS 268 Auditorium, 175th Street and Jamaica Avenue. Come out and enjoy. Those of you who have seen a Jasmine for a Gardener, I'm sure you would come back and enjoy it. And the next weekend, Protection Game, fantastic movie, I think. Edge of the seat kind of a movie, court story that will keep you wondering what's going to happen next. And I'm releasing the movie that Lakshmee was in, Forgotten Promise. So come and get your DVDs. Make sure you come out and you get one. All right, Shiv, thanks so much for coming down. I really, appreciate your time. Anytime you're visiting, please come down to the studio. Sure. We love having you. We love finding out about all of your new work. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, see you soon.